Okay, got to get in character here. Go ahead and spin you around. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes with the 34. Got the engine running pretty good. I still need to do a better tune on the carburetor. I had some carburetor conundrums. I threw a 650 on there originally, and it was way too much carburetor, but it was what I had. And this one was new, and I just could not get this acting right. Couldn't get the car acting right. And I ended up finding that I think I had previously broke this fuel air mixture valve. Let me see here, I'll pull it out. You can see the needle part is broken off. The needle was in the, now the spring is down in there. The needle was in, come on you, I'll mess with you later. It was in the hole. Let me see if I can show you another one of the culprits. Get my fat thumb out of the way here. Well, you can see it right there. See that big old hole right there? It's supposed to be, you see how it's just straight down from my pointer here. So I don't know if I did that maybe, or if that happened when the needle broke off, if it could have went through, I don't know. But what I do know is that we have replaced this carburetor with probably something more. I'll put that up later. Something more fitting, which is a 500. And it's very happy with this 500. Still the ABS2 Elderbrock. So maybe I'll get this thing running for this video. It's just a matter of, like, you know, putting on the gas and power and turning the key. No big deal. And yeah, we'll get back to the motor stuff. If you notice, I pulled the fenders and the running board just because, first off, they were in my way for this brake fun that I've been having. But man, the longer they're off, the more I like it. So first off, she is not as set up as she was last time we were together. You can tell we have been thrashing on this project. So much so that I kind of took myself out of the video business there for a while, because I have just, I've been going after it, and video and going after a car project doesn't always mix. The pros can do it, but I'm definitely not a pro. And it ends up being such a distraction that I get behind. So let's talk about where we're at and where we're going. First off, the big elephant in the room is the fenders are off, and of course the running boards. What drove that is that there was a fair amount of repair and work that needed to happen to the running boards. And as I got those out of the way, I started looking at my fenders, especially like where they meet the running boards on both sides. Those areas, those flanges needed work. The fenders and running boards, they were never fastened to the car correctly. Everything was just loose and thrown together as if this car got kind of pieced back together because I don't know why. You know, health went bad with the previous owner. I have no idea the state, the reason this car was in the state that it was in, but it was just kind of like just thrown together really quickly. And you could tell it had not been buttoned up. It had just been gotten to a level where you could drive it, and that was about it. So I took those off, and when I took them off, I was like, man, it looks good. I think I want to run it without fenders and running boards, at least for this first iteration. So they're off right now. I'm storing them. I'm going to fix them, and we will see them again, but I don't know when. And the motor was initially locked up, rusted up. It was just seized up just from setting up for so long and not being ran. So I had to kind of coax it into behaving and starting to run. And the motor has really turned out to be a gem so far. I did a compression check on all the cylinders, and I got really good values with that. I think if I remember correctly, I was getting in the like 160, 165, 168, really good compression values. I put on a temporary carburetor that ended up having some problems. I couldn't get it to run right, and then I found that I had some significant damage to that carburetor that I wasn't aware of. So I changed out that carburetor, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. I gave the motor a deep clean and a repaint. I've got some cooler valve covers in this that's going to go on it. Air cleaner. I went ahead and did some mechanical work on it. I changed the water pump. I've got a new harmonic balancer that's going to go in. I got a high flow oil pump that's going in. What else did I do? I put the I got a new transmission hold down dampener set up here because the other one was just completely rotted and it wasn't doing any dampening. So that's all good to go. Cleaned out my transmission case, checked out all the gears. All that looks like it's good to go right now. Everything seems tight. So I'm hopeful that this is going to be a good runner, at least for the interim. We're really close to being able to put this back in, but I'm doing some work on the firewall and inner frame area before this goes back in. Over here beside it sits a recent find that I did via Facebook Marketplace. I pulled this Olds 303 out of Southern Illinois, but it's a monster. Everything's nice and free on it. I can't wait to get it on the engine stand. Will it end up in the 34? I don't know. Only time will tell. But pretty cool motor. It's got the 3-carb intake on top, which is cool. There's an Olds rocket. And I forget what I learned about the transmission. We'll get to this project at another time. Right now, the old 289 is going to be making it happen. I done it up a little bit too much, kind of. I mean, it looks a little bit too new, but it's going to look kind of cool, I guess, with the... I plan on running the 34 here with just the hood sides off. I plan on getting some louvers pressed into the top 2-piece original hood. You're going to see the motor in there. It's going to have a bunch of, cheap high school level chrome on it. Pulleys, brackets, whatnot, the standard for what a high school kid would have done back in the day. My firewall was all cut up, and I got a picture of it. I'll pop it on now. You can see that big old gaping hole that they had cut. I had, and I still have, like a 3-inch gap here along the wooden, whatever you call that section of the firewall, the floorboard, whatever. So that's going to end up being new down the road. This is going to end up getting cut and welded in, and I'm working on the X to match the other side. I'm going to be doing a hammer form exercise, putting that in there, and then that'll get all cut in and welded in. The relief area that is initially pressed into this this firewall, I'm not going back with that relief area because the second iteration of this car is actually going to take the motor. And I don't know if you remember how far the motor was set forward, but it's not where it's supposed to be. It seems as if the previous owner wanted to avoid getting into their firewall. The second iteration of the car, the motor is going to get set back. The firewall is going to be recessed to allow the motor setback to happen. There's going to be an open drive shaft. There's probably going to be a 9-inch Ford rear end in there and some coilovers in the back. But that's for another time. That's going to, take a chunk of time. I'll probably spend, I'll spend a significant amount of time, and I'm not going to be able to drive this car if I get to that level on it right now. So still sticking with the original goal of getting this on the road as soon as possible. On the inside, I haven't done too much other than, of course, I had to get the seat out of the way. And I think that the race car aluminum enclosure around the back and in the trunk area, all that's going to go because I've got a floor repair. Really, my most significant rust repair is like in the floor area right back here. And this aluminum needs to come up out of there for me to be able to get to that and repair it properly. So I'm going to take out all this aluminum and I'm going to save it because I might use it as backers for an upholstery job at a later time. So, but that needs to come out. I needed to cut this piece back anyway to move it back to get my seat back because I was way too close to the steering wheel. I have got a big job done with my brakes. I've got some more pictures that I can break it out in detail, but I essentially had to create a turnbuckle. That's not what I was calling it before. Anyway, I had to move, like the action was happening like here with the pedal. I had to kind of kick it down here, and then I had to get it like into there because I was sitting right on top of the exhaust. So now I've got my master cylinder away from the exhaust, and I'm much more happier with how things are set up right now. So the brakes, I believe the brakes are done, but I got after the motor, and so I don't know 100%. I haven't driven it yet, and I haven't used the brakes, so I think they're good, but we shall see. So I'm a kind of a minor league hobbyist, and I try to maintain like a minor league stable of projects, and I had way too much going on at one time. And when I picked up this car, one of my handshake agreements with my spouse was that I would cut back, so I did that. The 36 is moved on. And the 34 two-door sedan has moved on. The Model A is gone. So yeah, I have done some significant thinning, and in order to prioritize my time and effort and limited hot rod budget on this 34. So I will now take a moment of silence to honor those cars that left, and we will talk about the future. Okay, so for the future, I want to get that thing on the road in the next 2 months. And the big ticket items that I've got to do on this car, we can go through those really quick. Let me turn you around here. So we talked about the motor a little bit ago. That's going to be pretty straightforward. I just need to finish up my firewall and clean up this area here, and I'll be ready to put that in there. I am thinking about painting this firewall a color other than black. More to follow on that. My electrical was basically a mess, and the electrical that I had working for me when I was doing my engine runs was just the bare minimum. So I've got the materials. I would like to completely redo the wiring, and it kind of makes sense to go ahead and just do that, because when I pulled the fenders off, of course, my wiring for my lights, a lot of that, got cut. It was a mess anyway, so all my lighting needs to be redone, and there's really not a whole bunch of wiring anyway with this, so I'd like to make some new wiring happen up underneath the dash. We'll clean up the firewall as much as practical, but really I'm not bothered by some of the items that are on the firewall. It kind of just shows the era of the car. So like, I'm not worried about getting the voltage regulator, like hidden or anything like that. I'm okay with all that. I need to get new glass in. I need to do some work with regards to the garnish moldings. They aren't fitting in there like they need to be and secured. That was a job that just wasn't finished ever. I need to fix the rust repair back in the trunk area, and this aluminum has got to get out of the way. The dash, we talked about that. I'd like to make a carpet here on the bottom for the floor. I'd like to get my inside firewall area all tightened up and insulated and ready to go. Let me see here. I've got some more cleanup to do on the frame back here. I've got to decide what I'm going to do about this back panel here, because I don't think that the cars look right. If you're not running fenders, keeping that panel looks weird. So I think the panel's got to go. Then I'm going to have to ask myself what I want to do with the gas tank. And I need to remount my license plate bracket and that little light right there to another location. Let's see. Transmission wise, I want to swap. I like the swan neck shifter, but I need to marry that. This is a 35-36 swan neck shifter. The bottom is a little bit different than the 39 and 40. I've got to merge those together, so I'm really going to end up taking like 3 of these to make one, and hopefully I end up with this nice chrome swan neck as my shifter. Let's see, what else? I got my radiator repaired. I had a crack in the radiator. It's all repaired, and it's a nice radiator, but it just had a little issue. Got that fixed. I need to clean it up, paint it up, and that'll be ready to install when I'm ready to install it. What else? I think that is about it. So we're going to keep on plugging on the old 34. My apologies for the lack of videos. I have really been going after it, and I'm just trying to drive this dude. It's killing me. So thanks for hanging on and being patient. I appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed the update. Let me know what you're thinking. Catch you later. Bye.